So, Stuart Broad, welcome to Sportsvibe TV, and we're on the eve of you embarking on a great adventure and a test series in India, pretty much as tough as it comes.
Yeah, I mean, the way to judge that is we've not won there for longer than Australia when we toured there 2 years ago. So we know the challenge we've got. We're very excited about the challenge we've got. I think the squad have a really nice blend of youth and experience, but everyone's toured the subcontinent as well. So we know we're going to get challenged with spin, but knowing that, having a month there before the first test is really important for us to get used to conditions and make sure we hit the ground running.
It's been a tough old year after a lot of success, and now you've got a particularly tough test ahead of you. But maybe it's a good thing in a sense, because if you get this right, you'll be right back, won't you? Yeah,
I mean, now we're the hunters again, aren't we? So we're chasing that number one spot. It's a bit of a new chapter with Alistair Cook taking the reins, and it's an exciting 18 months to be an England cricketer. I mean, we've got 4 tests in India, off to New Zealand, and then back-to-back Ashes series. So we've got a lot to look forward to, a lot of tough cricket coming up, and it'll be a real good test to see where we're at as a team.
It's pretty much non-stop now, isn't it? I mean, you're only just back from the T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka, and you're just telling me off camera that apart from best part of a week at Christmas, you're pretty much away from next week until, what, end of March?
1st of April, yeah. So it's a long time, but at my age, 26, with no wife and kids, it's amazing. You're getting to play cricket for your country and
you're doing what you love to do.
Exactly.
And get paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a long time away from home, but as I say, there's no real pressures on me. But I can see why it can get a bit harder for the guys who've got young kids and they miss their families growing up. But there's no one in that change room who would swap it for anything.
The old adage in sport is it's tough getting to the top, it's even tougher staying at the top, and it's a cliche, but there's a reason why it's a cliche, because it tends to be true, doesn't it? What are the difficulties of being the best and being hunted and shot at by everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, we had meetings about this sort of thing when we had just reached the number one, because we were very conscious we didn't want to fall into the trap that many others had, and unfortunately we did. It's not like we took our foot off the gas or anything like that, but we just started to lose the real key battles in games. We weren't probably being as ruthless with the bat and scoring. We were getting our 300s rather than our 450s that win your games. We were dropping the crucial catches. So,
can you put your finger on why that would happen?
It is hard to judge, but one thing is for sure, we'll learn from that experience. So once we get to number one again, which I'm sure we will, we can take all that experience from the mistakes we made and move that in and hopefully create a legacy at number one.
I mean, is it a mental thing or what? Because obviously you're not training any less, are you? Your motivation presumably is sky high still. So, as you say, just the things that made you number one have just been. It's just the margins are narrow, aren't they, at the highest level, and they've just been missing a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the series we've had. We went to the UAE, got undone by some high quality spin bowling, which can happen. And you look through that series, and I mean, we went to the second test match, needed 140 to win. We battled so hard in that game to get ourselves in a winning position, and we threw it away. We got bowled out for 90 or something. So you win that, suddenly you're back in the series, and you can go on and do special things. And you even look at the third test match there. At lunch, we had them 40 for 7. You don't lose test matches at 47. Yeah, I mean, we were just losing key parts of games, and that costs you at the top level. So it's important we get back on. The players switch on to the fact and be aware of the fact that we were losing the key parts of the game. You look when we went to Australia in the Ashes. I remember Collie catching punting at Perth like a one-hand up. They're winning those little moments, and we started to lose them, and obviously lost 2 series with that. So. It's obviously not the end of the world. We lost to Pakistan and we lost to South Africa, but now we have a challenge on our hands to try and go and get something from the India tour. Obviously we're not going to be favourites over there. India's record is sublime, but I believe we've got the talent in the change room to really make something happen over there. And
you've just come back from Sri Lanka, where you captained your country, which must be an amazing feeling. But you didn't get through into the knockout stages, so I guess mixed emotions.
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously the initial emotion coming back is disappointment, because you go there to win a World Cup, and yes, we had a a young side, and it's important we learn from that experience. But we just did little things wrong. We lost early wickets, which you can't afford to do in international cricket, T20 cricket, and we didn't quite get our death bowling right, which isn't too much of a worry because you look in the final, Malinga, who's the best death bowler probably the world's seen, went for 54. So that can happen, but losing 2 or 3 wickets every time in the first 6 overs just kill you.
A lot of change, obviously. You mentioned that Andrew Strauss has retired. Alistair Cook is the new captain, and a certain cricketer called Kevin Peterson is back in the fold. So that can only be a good thing, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as an England player and as an England team, you want your best players on the field. So it's good that saga's got a line drawn under it, and we can just crack on and play cricket. Because at the end of the day, we're in the business of winning Test matches for England, and it'd be nice to see some headlines about us playing good cricket again. Yeah, we're obviously looking forward to getting on and cracking on with our jobs and hopefully getting England back on winning ways.
Yeah, desperately important to get a good start, I guess, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned the UAE. It was a poor start. You got spun out and it kind of never really got going. But I guess you want to hit the ground running. Yeah,
I mean, I've always had this focus of the first hour of a Test match. Don't look too much further than that. And you look in Dubai, we were 30 for 5 or something. So chasing the game from there. But we've learned from those mistakes a little bit. There was a bit of talk about us being underprepared there after having December off, whereas we're going a month early to India to get ourselves 100% right, and we've got to thank the scheduling for that. And as players, we've got the opportunity to really get used to conditions, and that's a really exciting thing.
And very quickly, on the non-cricket front, Leicester Tigers, Nottingham Forest, your 2 other loves of your life. Not going great, is it, at the moment?
No, I mean, obviously, disappointing result of the weekend for the Tigers, but we know the strength that the Tigers have. They have this character that seems to drag them through at any time. So it's a long season, and I'm sure that squad will go from strength to strength. And Forest, I mean, it's dangerous to, after a takeover, to think and expect too much. They've made some really good acquisitions, and I think, I mean, playoffs would be amazing, but to be in and
seems
around,
a long way off that at the moment.
To be sort of top 10 has got to be a realistic aim, and the Championship's a hard division to get out of, so it's hard to expect too much. But I'd imagine there's a 4-year, 5-year plan to get the team back into the Premier League, and then there'll be some really strong foundations to hold them there.
Fantastic. So back in the Premiership, 5 years maximum for you.
5 years, I'll give it 3.
Marvellous. Good luck in India.
Thank you.